南無動物の問動物の問動物の問動物の問動物の問動物の問動物の問の問動物の問動物の問動物。I would like to open by quoting the words of Shinran Shonin. Please pause for a moment. When we reflect on the establishment of the vow, we find that the Tathagata, without abandoning sentient beings in pain and affliction, has taken the directing of virtue to them as foremost, thus fulfilling the mind of great compassion. End quote. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning. Welcome to the Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii YouTube channel, Online Dharma Messages. My name is Kazunori Takahashi. I am serving at the Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii headquarters as the executive assistant to the bishop. I am happy to be able to share the Buddha Dharma with you. We always listen to the teaching of Buddhism, especially Jodo Shinshu teaching revealed by Shinran Shonin. He selected the 3 Pure Land Sutras delivered by Shakyamuni Buddha and revealed the Jodo Shinshu teaching, which can be followed by anyone, anytime, and anywhere. In Jodo Shinshu temples, or Hongwanji temples, the figure of Amida Buddha is in the central position in the altar. It may take 3 forms: standing statue, picture scroll, or scroll with the name Namo Amida Butsu. We always show our respect to Amida Buddha by putting our hands together and saying his name, Namo Amida Butsu, which means I entrust my heart to Amida Buddha. There is also a custom that the Jodo Shinshu followers and families use a family altar at home and put their hands together in front of it every day. Amida Buddha is the Buddha of immeasurable life and infinite light. Amida Buddha is always embracing, protecting, and raising us unconditionally with his great wisdom and compassion. However, Amida Buddha has no form, so it is very important for us to always listen to what kind of Buddha Amida Buddha is, and what the significance of saying his name, Namo Amida Butsu, is. And recently, I experienced something that made me remember the depth of Amida Buddha's compassion. This year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we were forced to stay home and work from home for a few months from the middle of March. Even now, the situation has not yet settled down, and it continues to have a major impact around the world. Our activities are very limited during this pandemic period, but I took this opportunity to start something new. Since I spent more time at home, I started to grow vegetables in the small garden in front of my house. It's not that I take care of lots of plants, but I placed vegetables in a few small pots, and I'm taking care of them by watering them in the morning and evening, and occasionally giving fertilizer. Probably thanks to the good weather in Hawaii, vegetables are growing at amazing speed. Then I enjoy watching the growth of vegetables such as cucumbers, basil, kale, and so on. Then I sometimes pick them and enjoy having fresh vegetables. However, not all the vegetables grew smoothly. I planted tomatoes, but it did not grow well. Then I tried to change the place to put a pot and to adjust the amount of water to give. Thus, I enjoy this new experience, but at the same time, I realized that it is not easy to grow vegetables. Actually, we can buy delicious vegetables at the supermarkets. I still sometimes buy some vegetables. However, after having the experience of growing vegetables, somehow I had a special feeling that I had never had before. In these days, when I eat vegetables, I feel like, oh, someone carefully grew this tomato. Or maybe it took time to grow this onion. Then I realized that I used to take it for granted that I ate vegetables. However, I came to have a feeling of gratitude to those who produced and distributed the delicious vegetables. Buddhism teaches us that it is important to be aware of what we have received or what others have already given us. I think there are many things we may take it for granted. We usually think about our own actions or what we do. But if we become more aware of what we have received or what others have done for us, we would be grateful for everything in our everyday lives. I mentioned earlier that it is important to listen to what kind of Buddha Amida Buddha is. Shinran Shonin, who is the founder of Jodo Shin Buddhism, emphasized the importance of listening to what Amida Buddha is doing for us. The story of Amida Buddha was first introduced by Shakyamuni Buddha, who appeared in this world in human form about 2,500 years ago. He was the only historical Buddha. Once, when Shakyamuni Buddha gave his guidance to people, he taught them that he was not only the Buddha and there were many more Buddhas in the universe. Then Shakyamuni Buddha introduced Amida Buddha, who was deeply respected and praised by many Buddhas. Amida Buddha is different from Shakyamuni Buddha and is neither a historical person nor an idol. Amida Buddha is the Buddha of infinite light and eternal life without color or form, but Shakyamuni Buddha personified Amida Buddha in order to make the characteristics easy to understand. Amida Buddha was first the Bodhisattva Dharmakara before he became a Buddha. When he was still in the stage of Bodhisattva, he witnessed the suffering of all beings and established 48 vows because he sincerely wanted to save all beings, regardless whether they are good or bad. Then he performed various practices for a very long time and finally attained enlightenment and became Amida Buddha. Among the 48 vows, the 18th vow is considered as the most important one. This vow states that Amida Buddha saves all beings by making us recite his name, attain birth in the Pure Land, and become a Buddha. So, why did Amida Buddha promise to save all of us? It is because we encounter various events in our lives. Not only happy things, pleasant things, but also sad things, difficult things, and hardships. When we encounter some problems, we would attempt to find solutions by our own effort. It would be good if we could resolve the problems. However, we sometimes experience hardships that overwhelm us, for example, suffering from a serious disease, the sorrow of parting, the problem of human relationships, and so on. Even if we wish to overcome by our effort, it would be sometimes difficult to find what to do, what to gain energy, what to settle it. Shinran Shonin revealed that Amida Buddha certainly saves all of us with his wisdom and compassion. If we need to fulfill some conditions, those who cannot do could not be saved. However, Amida Buddha does not require us to accomplish difficult practices. Therefore, we always learn that Amida Buddha is calling to us, I will save you just as you are. This teaching certainly brings us great strength and changes our lives. There are many ups and downs in our lives, but we can remember that we are always supported and embraced by Amida Buddha's great wisdom and compassion. At the beginning of my message, I read Shinran Shonin's words. I will read it again. When we reflect on the establishment of the vow, we find that the Tathagata, without abandoning sentient beings in pain and affliction, has taken the directing of virtue to them as foremost, thus fulfilling the mind of great compassion. End quote. However, Amida Buddha has no form, so it is difficult for us to notice the existence. Therefore, Amida Buddha decided to reach us as the voice of Buddha so that people can hear it and become aware of the existence of Amida Buddha. This sound is Namo Amida Butsu. This sound keeps reaching our ears through the voice. We can hear this sound even through our own voice of Namo Amida Butsu. This phenomenon means that Amida Buddha is calling us and saying, I am always with you. I will save you without fail. I will make you become a Buddha. Then we can respond to Amida Buddha with full of gratitude, saying, Namo Amida Butsu, which means, I entrust my heart to Amida Buddha. Today, I shared with you my recent experience of growing vegetables and talked about Amida Buddha. I realized that I could enjoy eating delicious vegetables thanks to those who spend time and great efforts to grow them and distribute them to the stores. We might think that saying Namo Amida Butsu is a simple expression, but we can learn that Namo Amida Butsu has a profound meaning and certainly becomes a great strength of our lives. In Jodo Shin Buddhism, it is important to continue listening to how warm and how kind Amida Buddha's heart is. Through listening to the Jodo Shinshu teaching, we can firmly walk the path of our lives with Amida Buddha and share the warmth with others. Then we can work together toward the realization of a society in which everyone is able to live a life of spiritual fulfillment. I hope you will continue to take care of yourself and stay safe in this uncertain time. Let us continue to live our everyday lives, remembering Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion, saying Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much for listening. So please put your hands together in Gassho and let's recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu.